Well, hello everyone. JRDL96 here with a brand new episode of Modern Warfare Remastered. The last time we actually went back to the old roots, which is after almost doing Star Wars Battlefront for almost like a month and a half. My apologies once again for that. And I kind of lost it a little bit, wishing someone would get chlamydia or something. I don't even remember. But anyways, we're gonna be doing some more team deathmatch. I might as well, right? This is I gotta let you guys know something. How excited I am about what has happened at E3 yesterday on Tuesday with Nintendo. And you're probably thinking, well, have you been hating Nintendo lately? Technically, yeah, a little bit because of the whole thing, how they handled the NES Classic Edition and how they royally fucked over their fucking fans with that bullshit. I couldn't understand it. Like, here you are, you're advertising 30 games built into this little miniature version of their very first console that rebooted, pretty much, energized interest in video games. Your fucking greatest game of all time is Super Mario Brothers. That's my favorite game of all time. One of my favorites. That was the first fucking video game I ever played. I picked up when I was 3 fucking years old with a little fucking NES controller in my hand, and I'm playing Super Mario Bros. And I fucking sucked at that. But it was worth it because I had fun playing it. But then, when you're announcing this, and then when it comes out, and Amazon royally fucks you over, you add it to your cart, and then, oh, sorry, it's not recognized in our catalog. What? You advertised it for months, you idiot. Three, two, one, let's go. Let's do this. Like, you kidding me? Like, you can't do that. Like, that's kind of like fucked up. And also, what also pisses me off was what employees of stores like GameStop, Target, Best Buy, they buy it. They buy the NESs that we have, that we waited a long time to get. You only ship 6 to each store, and most of your employees take them? What the fuck, dude? Like, how dare you, sir? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, that was honestly one of the most fucked up things I've ever seen. I couldn't understand it. You know what's also what made it also worse? Was the fact that, people on Amazon, eBay, every, shops, Walmart even, for fuck's sake, resell it online for 10 times more the price. 10 times more of the price. Like, they're like, it's $60. It's like the price of a video game you would buy today. That's the price of those damn things. But what you charge on Amazon and eBay is like $100, $200, $300. Even I saw $10,000. I'm like, holy shit, get the fuck out of here. Like, come on, man. Like, that's what pissed me off, and I honestly gave up on it. I honestly lost interest because it was never in the stores. Never. You always advertise the hell out of it, but then when you go into stores, it was like a rare thing. It was like a rare thing to see. It was so rare to find one in your store. It was so rare to find one in the store. It was so stupid. Like, and also the fact that websites report NES now available on Amazon, and then I don't find out until like a few days after they went up back on sale. Like, no notification. That's kind of on me. Like, that was kind of on me too. So don't. Well, yeah, I kind of understand. Now you're probably like, well, that was kind of your fault. That was technically your fault for not, like, getting notifications about it. Oh, you fuckers. Well, I got an assist, which is bullshit. Hey, the fuck you, dude. I got killed the most on the team. That was kind of on me, so unfortunately, yeah. I didn't want to move too much. I didn't want to move it because I knew I was going to move too much to the left or right. So I was like, alright, just fuck it. But anyways, enough ranting about the NES Classic Edition, the fact that they discontinued it as well. It was like, yeah, when you have 100% demand and 5% or 95% demand and 5% supply, and they're claiming, oh, we are running short on parts for it. I'm like, that didn't fucking stop you from producing these fucking things, you fucking moron. Like, it didn't stop you from reproducing these when you're saying we're short on parts. You said that when you discontinued the NES. We're short on parts. Well, how the fuck did you redesign those parts 15 fucking years later when you reintroduced a miniature version of that console? Bullshit. Like, that was kind of like the most bullshit thing ever. Like, I couldn't understand it. It was like the dumbest thing I couldn't understand. Like, really? You're saying you're out of parts, you're short on parts for the damn thing, but that didn't stop you from producing them years later. No, it didn't. It never stopped you. Are you fucking serious? I see you. Well, I don't know. Well, now the helicopter sees me. Like, really? But anyways, I want to explain why I'm now kind of excited because of the E3 event Nintendo had, because of the announcement, the one announcement that I really couldn't believe, I didn't expect, I didn't see coming. I guess everybody did not see coming. Maybe a few, but me, I didn't see coming. Like, I guess halfway through, they just announced like a new Pokemon RPG, which honestly, I'm not really into Pokemon, so I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. But then they announced a new game that's now in development, and all you see is like, it looks like the space. It has like you see stars, and it's forming a shape. It's forming a symbol. Then you hear the theme from the first Metroid Prime, and then you realize that those stars are forming the symbol of the screw attack. And my heart, and I just fucking got excited, and I went ballistic. I couldn't fucking believe it. I was so excited. Metroid Prime 4 is now in development for the Nintendo Switch. I am a huge fan of Metroid Prime, the whole Metroid Prime series of games. And also, not just that, they also announced Metroid Samus Returns for the Nintendo 3DS, which apparently is a reimagining of Metroid 2 Return of Samus from 1991 from the Game Boy. Which makes more sense because, if you don't remember, I heard about it, the AM2R, another Metroid 2 remake, was put up last year, and then they got taken down by Nintendo to protect their IP. So I guess that it made sense that they were probably working on this game around that time. So they're like, wait, stop, enough, stop putting out your Metroid remake. We're gonna make it this time. That's pretty much what happened. So Metroid Prime 4, I did hear that Retro Studios is not working on this game, which is really interesting. I'm pretty curious about who is, and I hope they do a fantastic job with it, because I want to know, like, how is it going to be, like, how the controls are going to be implemented. Like, is it going to be like Metroid Prime 3, which is with the motion controls, which I hate. I hate motion controls. But Metroid Prime 3 did a good, like, an okay job with it, but I hate motion. Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 with that fucking ball with the star in it. I wanted to fucking throw my remote at the fucking television, because I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You expect me to fucking balance myself on a fucking little piece of shit of a fucking ball because of a fucking motion control, which barely fucking works. Yeah. Funny stuff. I didn't understand it. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Jesus Christ. But seriously, yeah, I'm pretty curious about who is developing Metroid Prime 4. And you all know, if you don't, or you're not familiar, after Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, Samus goes into hyperspace to do whatever she was going to do. And if you beat the game 100%. After she goes into hyperspace, this ship comes out of the blue, like rises up from below the screen, and then goes after her. It goes after Samus. People are saying that's Xylux. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but if you, and obviously I'm going to mention it, but unfortunately the abomination that people call the game that people call the worst thing to ever happen, Metroid Prime Federation Force, was released in 2016 was announced in 2015, and people were in uproar. I'm like, I wasn't one of those people that was outraged at it. I'm like, look, they're trying something different. Let them do something different. Maybe it has something to do. It could be like a backstory to something different, and it could be like a backstory to, it was, I think, a backstory to like the Galactic Federation. Gave you a background story around the Galactic Federation. Even though the game looked like shit, the game you can only beat the game with other players. Like, you can't beat it by yourself, which is weird. I don't know why that is. That's kind of like the weirdest concept for a game. I like the idea of multiplayer online. Well, I like that idea. I thought that was cool. But at the same time, when you're like, this isn't, where's Samus? You have to fight Samus too. It's like, what? I never even played it. I actually looked it up online. I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck did they do? But I remember there was a quote Reggie Fils-Aimé said that E3 after the outrage from the fans about Metroid Prime Federation Force's announcement. After the announcement, people were outraged, you know, because we want a real Metroid game. And I remember Reggie Fils-Aimé said, like, in not verbatim, but verbatim, he said something along the lines like, yes, we understand, we're aware, but at the same time, when you announce a game, you don't want it to come out like they are not a fan. They pretty much are not a fan of announcing a game that will come out in like 5 years, a la Last Guardian, Final Fantasy Versus 13, which eventually turned into Final Fantasy 15, Kingdom Hearts 3, which was announced back in 2013. Doesn't look like that has a official release date yet. Whoa, what the fuck? I just realized I'm bouncing around lag. Compensation. Like, you have games that are announced years and years, and then it doesn't come out for like 15, like, look at fucking Last Guardian, almost a fucking decade, almost 10 years. It took it over like 8 years for it to finally, you dick. Oh shit. That damn explosion kind of caught me off guard. Like, you don't want it, they're not a fan of announcing a game that will come out like 10 years from now. Like that, and I totally agree with him. Like, look, I understand you're outraged at a fucking announcement of perhaps a background check on a certain, like, characters in a Metroid series. But Jesus Christ, you don't bitch and moan about a game that comes out 8 years later, like The Last Guardian. Or Final Fantasy 13 versus 13, which ended up becoming Final Fantasy 15. And I'm not seeing anybody outraged at fucking Kingdom Hearts 3. It was announced in 2013. And we're still waiting for a fucking release date. Now, everybody's gonna be like, well, Metroid Prime 4 might take 5 years, but, well, you never know. They've probably been working on it for a while now. And yeah, there was rumors from, like, I guess a couple months now that a Metroid game was in the works for the Switch. We weren't sure if it was Metroid Prime 4 because Retro Studios had a secret unannounced game that they were working on at the moment, but it turns out it's not going to be Retro Studios, which is kind of weird. And it's kind of an interesting thing, because I remember hearing that after Metroid Prime 3, during Metroid Prime 3's release, most of the people that worked at Retro Studios left because, I guess, of how they were treated by Nintendo. They didn't like the excessive workload that they were given because of it. So I guess there was a little bit of bad blood, I guess. I don't know if you want to call it bad blood. But most of the people that worked on the Metroid Prime games left after 3 because of the way that they were treated after 3 was made. So who knows? Who knows, like, what will happen? But it's also interesting, like, who knows what will happen in 4. Let me continue on Metroid Prime Federation Force. Let me finish that up. Let me finish up talking about Metroid Prime Federation Force, because if you beat the game, I guess, I don't know if you have to beat it like 100% or whatever. If you beat it, and you'll have a post-credit scene at the end, and it's this random guy, like, you don't know who it is. This guy walks in, I guess, where the headquarters of the Galactic Federation, walks through the halls, and then enters a room that has a Metroid egg. Then he uses, like, a machine to hatch that Metroid egg. And then you see, like, I guess, a silhouette, and you see, like, I guess, like, a silhouette. I don't know if you want to call it silhouette, but it looks like a very close-up shot of this guy's leg, and it looks like Silex from Metroid Prime Hunters, who was apparently at the end of Metroid Prime 3. So it looks like to me that Silex hates the Galactic Federation. Used to work for the Galactic Federation, now hates it. So it's going to be interesting how that's pretty much what I feel like the plot's going to be. It's going to be Silex and against Samus in Metroid Prime 4. But the thing is, Metroid Prime started off on Metroid Prime, which ended up becoming Dark Samus. So I don't know. I wonder if Phazon's going to be involved again, because after Metroid Prime 3, the home planet of Phazon, Phase, got destroyed. So no traces of Phazon is left. Like no Leviathan seeds or Imp, like those asteroids that hatch these Metroid Prime creatures. So it's going to be real interesting on how they're going to continue the series from here. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I think this is going to be the last game in the Metroid Prime series, because I feel like that Xylox is going to use Metroids, and then I guess the Galactic Federation is going to realize, shit, Metroids are a threat. Samus, go to the home planet of the Metroids and destroy them all. Which I guess leads to Metroid 2, Return of Samus. Or, yeah, like, that's how I see it. Like, to me, I kind of see what they're doing. Like, almost in a way. But I just kind of like have that feeling that that's how they're gonna go. So I guess Metroid Prime 4 could be the last Metroid Prime. And I'm hoping it's not the fucking motion controls. I understand you want to do a gimmick, but at the same time, have an option. Have it optional to be like the GameCube, like the first two games. No shitty motion control gimmick. No gimmick. Just a game that is great as Metroid Prime is. Come on, knock it off with this fucking gimmick. Alright? But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed my today's video and gameplay video, and also my little like thoughts about Metroid Prime 4, The Return of Metroid. So if you like what you saw here, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with your friends, let them know, hey, I like Metroid. I am a huge fan of the Metroid series. I want to do a playthrough of Metroid Prime. Maybe I'll do it like as a hype. I'm definitely doing it. But maybe I'll do it more now because of the hype for Metroid Prime 4. I don't know if I want to do the other two games, 2 and 3, but I want to do definitely the first game because that's honestly nostalgia running through me. There's a lot of nostalgia running through me at that moment. Whenever I talk about this game, Metroid Prime, I get so into it. I get so into the conversation with people that I have. Because you have no idea how influential that game has been to me in the last 10 years. I remember getting it as a Christmas gift in 2005. And because I guess my dad recognized Super Smash Bros. Melee had Samus, and then obviously the GameCube. So I got that game. I remember playing it at first, I'm like, I'm not sure, because I was stuck on the fucking space pirate frigate in the beginning of the game. I was stuck on that because I didn't know what the fuck to do. But then I eventually started playing it more and more and more, and then eventually I started getting good and good and having more fun and having this cool thing with it. That's why I love that game. And I guess a lot of people love this game. So many people love this game. I would be surprised if anybody doesn't like this game. That's how I would be shocked if someone hated Metroid Prime. But Jesus Christ, it was Samus's return in Nintendo, because after a great game like Super Metroid, this was her return. Like, come on. And also Metroid Fusion. Yeah, and speaking of like two games announced, the last time that two Metroid games were announced was back in 2001, 2002, with Metroid Prime and Metroid Fusion. So that's kind of interesting. And I kind of have I think mostly it's because of the whole comment Reggie said about the whole, you don't want to announce a game that will eventually come out in like 5 years. And because I saw somebody say it was because of us, the fans. I'm like, okay, where's Mother 3? Where's an F-Zero game? Where's Star Fox? Like, come on. They don't, it's like, come on, you gotta be a little hypocritical about it, too. Like, I played a little bit of the original F-Zero, and I thought it was a fantastic game. A little bit of the Star Fox 64, I'm like, holy shit, this game is awesome. But, anyways, I think I've rambled long enough. So, if you like what you saw here, like, comment, subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Let them know, hey, I love Metroid, and I'm looking forward to Metroid Prime 4. Be sure to also check out my Instagram. I do a lot of cool edits of Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, even myself, which is kind of weird of me saying. And I'm also working on a collab with someone, which is going to be my first collab with somebody, which is fucking amazing. It's fucking incredible. Like, I appreciate all the love and support I get on Instagram for all the edits that I make. It's just fucking amazing. So until next time, JRD96 signing out, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.